What's up, everybody? YouTube, DeuntaRantsRavesPodcastShow, episode 15. Let's get into it. Chicago is tripping. They need the help. So get it.
And this all comes as President Trump's Chicago crackdown coming into focus. The president says he'll decide whether to send in the National Guard in the next day or two. This as the city awaits enhanced ICE operations. And Mike Tobin has the latest from Chicago. Hi, Mike.
And Dana, ICE agents are operating in the city of Chicago right now as we speak. They picked up some people yesterday in the northwest suburb called Palatine. But despite what you're hearing from Illinois Democrats, you're not going to have columns of ICE agents walking down the street randomly snatching people off the street. The way these operations work is they have individuals that they have information on, that they have criminal.
They're going to snatch you up and throw you away. They there for the criminals. Do no crime, no time. Simple stuff. Get the help, Chicago, Illinois. We need it. All these sanctuary cities, y'all want to be sanctuary, bringing all these people in, but you don't want no security, no help, and no protection. It makes no sense.
Histories. They're in the country illegally, but despite sanctuary policies and cashless bail, they are out on the street. So you have those are the individuals they're going to be going after, the individuals they're going after right now. Now, the Illinois National Guard has not yet received any orders to even begin preparations for deployment. If and when the Guard is sent to the streets of Chicago, they won't necessarily be the tip of the spear. They'll be adding to the manpower, doing things like traffic, helping out with logistics. Here's what Secretary Holman had to say about that.
The National Guard are always on the table. We use them in.
Hold on, Holman. Hey, I voted for you. Trump, Holman, this is what I voted for. Protection. American first. Stop all this crime. Stop people from dying. This black and black crime, white and white crime, anybody crime. Just stop killing each other, please.
Los Angeles, and we use them in Washington, D.C. They're a force multiplier. Now, do they arrest illegal aliens? No. ICE officers, Border Patrol agents who have Title VIII authority arrest illegal criminal aliens. But the National Guard does provide protection for us.
Protection.
Now, we did see protests over the weekend to the tune.
Protection, not war. They're there for protection. They're there to stop the crime. You know? Y'all Democrats, man. Don't vote blue because no matter who. You vote for common sense. Don't just vote because you're a Republican or a Democrat or whatever. Just do your research. Most of all, vote for common sense.
Of hundreds who came out. They were a coalition of a number of different groups. So really, they were protesting everything under the sun, focusing on the Trump agenda. It fits the definition of a peaceful protest. They did their thing, they marched, and then they went home. In a western suburb called Broadview, there was a dust-up with federal agents. A federal agent appears to shove a woman to the ground and shove her male counterpart.
See, Brandon Johnson and J.B. Fritzer, how you pronounce his name? It doesn't matter, really. I didn't vote for none of these people. They incited insurrection. They told them to push back against the officers and ICE and all that. It makes no sense. They should be impeached. Most of all, should get these people right up out of here as soon as possible. Because this makes no sense. They don't walk down the city of Chicago like I have when I was living there. I'm in Rockford now, but these people never walk the streets on Madison and Laramie, Roosevelt and Western.
Witnesses at the scene say the protesters had become aggressive and threatening at that point. As far as the criminal activity in Chicago, we don't have the weekend totals officially out of Chicago police so far, but it looks like 6 people were killed over the weekend, another 12 shot. Dana?
And last weekend, 57. About 10 died. You need the protection, Chicago. Stop this killing. Senseless killing. Jeez.
All right, Mike Tobin in Chicago for us. Thank you.
Will Kane joins us now, host of the Will Kane Show, 4 Eastern. Will, nice to see you, and good morning to you.
Good morning.
A moment ago on Truth Social, here's the president talking about crime. Washington, D.C. is a safe zone in just a matter of weeks, all caps there. Thank you, President Trump. And then they asked the question, who's next? He was also asked this question about going to war en route to the U.S. Open here in New York at Andrews Air Force Base.
Really, team? Where are y'all?
But you say that, darling. That's fake news. Why don't defend? Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second grade. We're not going to war. We're going to clean up our city. We're going to clean them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war. That's common sense.
Okay, so obviously that was the White House. My bad on that. I don't know what Chicago wants, Will. I don't know what your thought is on that, but maybe they're afraid it actually will work.
Yeah, I think, Bill, sometimes we think of this as a monolith. We say, what does the city of Chicago want? That has to be distinguished from what Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois or Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago want. They want to make this a political battle, a tweet war, a PR war between themselves and Donald Trump so that they can play to their base. And to some extent, Donald Trump helps them out in that battle. The post that he made on Truth Social with the Apocalypse Now meme and say, I love the smell of deportations in the morning, gives them the ammunition that they want, but they take the bait. And then they end up having this fight over the PR of the fight, when the real fight is about what's happening in Chicago on the streets, or the horrible stories the two of you just reported from Charlotte or Washington, D.C. And the people of Chicago, I can only imagine, those who really suffer from the crime in that recidivist area, south side, west side, where it happens over and over again, they want safety. That's the war. That's the war. The war is on crime.
And Will, speaking of Democrats being outraged, they had plenty of that to showcase over the weekend. Watch here.
The president of the United States essentially just declared war on a major city in his own nation. This is not normal.
The terrible things that the president of the United States is saying about using troops and the Department of War in the city of Chicago is an embarrassment.
Come on.
I call it a threat. I call it embarrassing. I would call it performative.
And Will, just one more on that, because the last person to speak there, that's Governor Wes Moore, governor of Maryland. And here is Don Lemon on his YouTube channel. He found somebody that he wanted to talk to, might not have gotten the answer he expected. Watch.
Wow.
The president said he wants to send troops here to Maryland. What do you think? Baltimore into Maryland?
I'm not opposed of it.
Right.
I think it'd be a good idea.
Why so?
Maybe we clean up some of this crime-ridden neighborhoods.
Yeah.
At
least that
crime bad?
Very bad. Atrocious.
So, Will, it's like President Trump is saying we have a crime problem, and the Democrats say, no, we just have a perception problem. But the reality on the ground from people who live there, as you were saying, is what it is.
See, this is what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You play the clips of Democrats acting like he's declaring war on an entire city. When the people that suffer from that crime, and by the way, if we're just putting a fine point on it, it is almost always minorities. It is more often than not Black victims of Black crime in Black neighborhoods are asking for help. They've lived under this. They're the victims that have to deal with this. And, Wes Moore or Brandon Scott, the mayor of Baltimore, or Gavin Newsom in California have responded to President Trump by now surging low.
I'm going to stop there. But Trump, Holman, y'all doing exactly what I voted for. Thank you. Most of all, thank you, God. Thank you. Like, subscribe. I'm on Spotify, iHeartRadio. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.